welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with a cute little star that I've had requests for. So I thought, okay, so I have a EQ8 program, so I decided, okay, we'll put this out, and it'll be a 6-inch finish or 6.5 unfinished block, and it's called Mill & Star block. This is the one everybody's kind of, I've had quite a few requests for this particular one. So today we're going to do it, and we're going to do it as an FPP. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very quick little thing to do today. But before we get into the sewing, we got to do a shout out. Amy at Amy Dement has been a viewer of mine, and she's also part of our Facebook group. And for some reason I didn't click that she was a YouTuber. So today is her surprise shout out. So when you go check out her YouTube channel, which you're going to find in the show notes below, or the see more description, or whatever they call it nowadays, you're going to find her. So when you go check her out, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Now, the other thing that you're going to find in there is our Facebook group link. If you haven't joined, please do so. We're doing fabric swaps. We're doing answering questions. We're also doing, like, you know, sharing pictures and having all sorts of fun. And the pictures are about what's inspiring you, not what I've done and shown you. It's what's inspiring you. And we're also making use of those virtual sew rooms. We also have the Zoom sew link from now until the end of December that you can come join us on Zoom if you're not part of the Facebook group, right? Or, you know, that's fine. Or you don't have a Facebook account, that's okay. You can still join us on Zoom. And we've had ladies from all over the world showing up, and it's been a lovely, fun day with lots of creative people. Share, like, and subscribe this channel if you like what you're seeing there. It helps us do more for the charities in our province. We've been having a year where we've done lots with, you know, the White Court Guild with the wildfire victims there, Yellowknife wildfire victims. We've done stuff for Sleep in Heavenly Peace. This Lorena shelter, you name it. There's quilts going that direction, you know, kind of thing. So that it's been wonderful, and I do speak for free to for guilds, and I do help bolster up the community service programs of the guild. So come on in. We've got some fun, cute little sewing today. Real simple. Okay, this is Mill & Star. Now, as you can see from the back, I don't know if hopefully you'll be able to see this. I've already hit this with my seam marker. And it's a little miniature pizza cutter thing. Anyways, what it does is it marks where your seam should be. It also helps make the paper a little easier to tear off and easier to fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut. There's 4 pieces here. And this is such a fun little pattern to work with. And it works, it comes together really, really well. There. I'm just going to cut off the excessive amounts of paper. There. Now, I debated whether or not I was going to use my strings in the star center, but I figured, okay, because you can put strings across this little divot, or use crumb blocks across here, and it looks darling, right? Now, the only problem when you're putting strings and all this together is all of those seams come together, because this is how you're going to sew it back together, is just like this, right? So it's 6 of one, half a dozen. You know, it'll be fine. Any way you want to do it, it's going to be great. It's going to look great. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm just going to grab some bigger hunks here for the middle blue. And you want good coverage. You want this, it's a little on the shy side. Let's see if I can't get, oh wait, let's do this. I can go like that, and I have really good coverage, right, from the tip of my point to the base, right, because I've got good coverage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over, and I want the right side, when you're laying down your first piece of fabric, you're laying it down so that the right side is facing up. right? Now, what people do, some people do, is they put a little pin in, and they just hold that piece of fabric, and I'm going to pin it the other way because I don't want it in the way. They hold that little piece of fabric so they can trim it. The problem is this creates a wow, right? So if you're doing lots of really fine paper piecing or tiny paper piecing, you're going to have problems when you're doing this pin thing, right? The other thing is you can use a spot of Elmer's school glue, and that alleviates that wow effect, and school glue washes out. So let's just get all these lined up, and we're going to line it up like that. There, that works. That's another cute one that works. And but this is okay. This is okay. Big enough for, I just need bigger pieces of this. Is this gonna work? This is a really beat up piece, but does it work? Yes, it does. Even though it is beat up, it works. Yeah. Yes, it does. Some fabric, some of these crumbs have seen better days, and they're like, oh, just please use me, get it over with. Use it, use me up and get me out. Okay, so this is all small stuff here. Is this big enough? Let's see. Yes. Ooh, that isn't. So let's get a bigger piece. Let's get a bigger piece here. Oh, this is cute. Oh, this is cute. This is big enough. So let's get little hearts going. And what we're going to do now is we're going to treat all of this stuff the same. We're going to go from one side. Now all of this fabric is laying face up, right? So now from, you can go either, it's B1, B2, B3. I always prefer to put the color down first on this block. But, you know, it's up to you how you want to lay them out. So we're gonna lay them all out this way. And we're going to do the trimming. And we're just going to trim these off. This isn't wasted, it's going into a pet bed. And then you flip the other side. And don't push too hard. There we go. There. So that's what you're going to do first on all of this. Right? Just move out all of this fun stuff. Okay. Okay. There. So that's the easiest. This is the easiest way to do this. You just pin it there. Like I say, Elmer's school glue works. Is like so good. You can even use English paper piecing glue. It is more expensive to use, but it is you could use it. You know, if you don't have any Elmer's school glue. When we're filming this is right at the beginning of our school year here in Canada. Elmer's school glue is available at your office supply stores in bulk. So that's when I tend to pick it up. So, see now that piece that looked beat up and mangled and everything else, and end up looking pretty sharp now that I've trimmed it to the right size. So, next piece is to get some whites. Now I have a bunch of men's shirting here that I bet you would be perfect for this, and yes it is. So, let's just flip it over. Yeah, I know it's a pinked edge, but it'll be fine. I'm going to end up cutting off most of it, and I'm going to change feet so I have a real good run at this. Hang on, get this all out of the way. There's too much stuff in the way. There. I prefer this foot for paper piecing. You could paper piece with a 1/4 inch foot, but you don't have the visual. If your foot is clear, you have a clear one, so you have a really good way of seeing that line you got to follow. That's perfect. Now you want to be sewing right on that line. Okay, so that's important. Okay, yes. Well, that didn't sew. How come that didn't sew? Well, that's strange. It didn't sew. Why didn't it sew? Because it's no longer threaded. Okay. Why is it not threaded? I have no idea why it's not threaded, but it is not threaded. Oh. Okay, so let's thread our needle and see how long this takes us to do. You know what? Stuff like this happens all the time. It really does. And I am paper piecing, and hopefully, there we go, I'll get it. Needle threaded right away. Now, if this looks, the paper looks like it's going to fall apart, tape it before you sew. Mine, it looks okay. I'm just going to run with it. I'm just going to. But that's how you fix it when it doesn't sew like that. You know, it's a little too dark. I'll put that back. Ooh, this is nice. Let's put this. Okay. One is on this side. Let's go like this. There we go. Line it up. Okay. Next up. Oh, that's cute. That's a cute little men's shirting thing going on. Okay. Now, one thing with EQ8, when you ask it to lay out foundation paper piecing, oh, let's get this one. That was a little too blue. It won't show up nice. There we go. That's fine. I'm going to put there. Okay. Now, one thing with EQ8 it does is it would allow for the nesting of foundation paper piece seams, and that is such a lovely bonus to have, right? And it's just, that's what it comes with. So you don't even have to, you know, you just kind of finger press it out of the way. I'm not fond of that color. Oh, this would look good. Okay, this one's looking good. This one's going to look fine. This one will look awesome. So now I'm going to run this way. Oops. I gotta start getting rid of my pins too, because that would be good. Okay. So this looks good. Is this big enough? Yes. Oh, no, it's not. We'll put it in. We'll put it in something else. Oh, this is cute. I'll get this. There. This shirting I got as a shirt. It's basically a shirting sample. You know, all the samples of all the different shirting that this business could make. And it's beautiful cotton. Tightly woven. Everything is just lovely. Why is this not working? Let's go this way. That's weird. Okay. And, okay, get this out of the way. Get that pin out. And I don't like that. I'm not fond of that. Ooh, this is nice. There, that's good. Okay. All right, last piece. Okay, last piece. Now, you'll notice I'm taking out that pin before I put the next piece on, because I want this to start to lay flat, or at least get used to the idea of laying flat. Okay. And here we are. We got them all through. And now, there's only 3 sections to do. And 3 sections too is good. It's a really lovely beginner-sized project, you know. So I'm just gonna move my crumbs out of the way now. what you want to do is you want to trim these and make sure they're all, you know, they're all in the good, you know, good spot, that you've got lots of coverage and everything else, right? So we're going to flip this over like so, and we want the first thing we want to do is trim this seam allowance, this longer seam. And take your time. These, the funny thing about these is they never look like anything until they're trimmed. I am always impressed with any foundation paper piecing. It doesn't look like anything until it's trimmed. Now you notice too on this pattern, there is a place where they trim the corner. Now you can trim that corner now if you want, because it's going to reduce bulk in your work. Or you can wait until all of your pieces are trimmed. It's up to you how you want to do this. Because you're matching up, you're going to spend time matching up this little diamond thing, right? That's where you're going to spend your time matching that up. And I am going to show you how to line up your marks. Okay, let's get this. This one was just a tad too small, but that's okay. Okay, there. Yeah. I was looking at the requests, and don't ever feel shy about asking, can you show me this pattern, or can you show me how to make that, or I need help making this block. Don't be shy about asking that. If it's a block under copyright, you need to go ask the person that owns that block. Like I can't shortcut their pattern for you, right? Because it's a copyright block. I can't play around with it like you can like an open source block. And I do play around and do my own blocks, and if you're just not liking the way it's assembled, you know, don't be afraid to come ask. My email is in the About section tab, or if you're part of the Facebook group, just private message me, because I prefer Messenger to emails. Okay. Now, you notice so far we have not done that traditional all the way around the block. And there's a reason for that, because we're not there yet. We will sew the block together first, and then we'll do the outside. Okay, it's just easier. Okay, now, last one we gotta trim up. Now they look like something. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna lay these out. A, C, and D. All right, there we go. Just like that. A, B, C, and D. Now, oops, okay. Now, when we're putting these together, you're going to put them together so that the paper is on the outside edge. And what you're going to do is you're going to form, okay, this is how you sew them together. You sew A and B together and then C and D, right? So you're going to put the paper edges together, or the right sides together, and then you're going to put pins right where the intersection is between the color and the white, or the low volume. And it's gonna hit on both sides, right? Because it's important that you make that point. Now, this is important. You make this point. And you're gonna go line it up, put it through, and you're gonna line it up and keep putting it through until you hit the point on the other side. Because now you've matched up your points that you're sewing. Because you're going to sew along this point, right here. Not the other side, just this point. And you might also want to mark your center point. Because that's always, if you were doing a big fancy show quilt, this is the kind of accuracy that you would need to know how to do. So we're going to show you this. But if you're just playing around your scraps at home, play. Don't panic. Don't become, you know, obsessed with all of this because it's going to steal your joy. So now I just took my pins out of the way. Okay. And now I need the other foot on because I'm making a 1/4 inch. And I really, really like this 1/4 inch foot I got off of Amazon. Buying sewing machine feet off Amazon is like kissing frogs. Eventually you find a prince that you just love. You know, but anyways. So here we are. So I'm going to lay this pin down and get up to that point and then pull the pin out. Okay? I'm going to lay the pin down without having it go under. Okay. Oops. There we go. There. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. Wow, this is a mess. Hang on. Okay. You're going to do the same thing along here. You're going to put them together. And you're going to put a pin at the center. And that pin's going to go right through both centers, which it does. Oops, I'm just off like a thread. Hang on. There. Is that better? Yes, it is. Much better. Wait a minute. It was like this. Yeah, okay. So it's this line. Now you can tip it and pin it if you need to. If if you're inclined to. The important one is this one. You want to make sure you get this right on the money. So you put that right where that intersection is between the low volume and the color. There. And you tip it without smushing it, right? Like you can tip it like that too. I prefer not to tip it because it does distort the work. Like you have a wow in here now. You have 2 wows that make a curve, right? So I'm not a big fan of this, but I'll get the last bit here. And that's one way people talk about it. And it's like, oh, I don't know. There's so many problems with this way. But okay. Ooh, I missed it by a hair. I missed it by a hair. Oh no. Okay. Back up. There. No. Okay, and that's why I just prefer to have them like this that I tip, right? Because I'm not creating the bow, right? Like I'm not creating a bowl in my work. There we go. Man, I got to that point. Yeah, got to that point. Good. And you pull your pins out just as you get to the point. There we go. Okay, I'm going to run this through. And I'll just lift this up. Now, we got this like this, right? Okay, so one side is going to go up and the other side is going to go down, right? So you have to make that decision. I think you make a sharper middle if the top goes this way and the bottom goes this way, right? That seam, so I'm pressing it like this. So I'm going to be able just to get that lined up. But first I'm going to line up my colors because that's on this block that you're going to notice the colors off, the colors being off if you don't get them lined up perfectly right off the hop. You know, that's going to be the issue. But they're cute. Oh my gosh, they're cute. Now if you're just sewing scraps and you just want to play and have fun, you don't have to do all of the pinning stuff, you know. Like you don't. If it's stealing your joy, don't do it. You know, that's important. You know, don't let stuff steal your joy. Don't be stressed out over stuff. And don't be hard on yourself because everybody had to practice doing all sorts of things, right? Before they got good at stuff, right? So, and now, there we go. Oh, did that hit? Yes, it did. Woohoo! Okay, and now I'm just going to cut the string here because everything is lying perfectly good. Okay, yeah, bend my pin, get my pin going, get my fabric, everything going there. Yes, it hits the point, yay, we're on a roll. Oops. Make sure that nests good, if it does. Okay, and there. There we go. There we go. Now, we're going to open this up. And we're going to do our, okay, so we're going to spin this open right here so everything lies nice and flat, or as flat as it can be, you know. Okay, now we're going to trim down this edge. From the stitching down, you're going to just trim it off at an angle, just like so. And we're going to get this side too. And the other side, final side. Wow, I'm creating a mess in here today with this. It doesn't never look like this. So now we're just going to run in the seam allowance. So my stitching is going to be not visible from the front. And you can sew this with any thread if you were doing like a whole bunch of them. And I do it before I pull the paper off. There. And the last bit. Ooh. Put your foot down. Press your foot down. Yeah. And feed a plug through. Okay, now, so this is how it's going to lie. Now we're going to look at the front together. Now you can see that those points match, right? This one's a wee tad off. Oops, this way, right here. It's like we're talking like a needle, sewing needle width. So I would leave that, you know, but I mean, you know, some people might get a little fussier with what they're doing. You know, don't let it steal your joy. Right? This is kind of a fun little thing to do, and that's what we're at, where we're at. So let's get to our ta-da moment. Oh, and this, just before we get to, this is within that 1/4 inch, right? So none of that stitching that you can see here will show because you've got a good 1/4 inch still left, right? To go around. So let's get to our ta-da moment. So this is our Mill and Star block. Now this is unfinished 6.5, finished 6 inch, and it was so cute. You could print off a lot of these blocks and sew them up very quickly, because basically you're only paper piecing, your foundation paper piecing 12 pieces together. That's it. And it didn't take long for the sewing or the trimming or sewing them together. You don't have to go crazy and do all the pinning that I did. I just wanted to show you how to line them up with pins, if that's your choice on where you want to go with your quilting skill. But you could have fun with these and just be like totally scrappy, and it would just make absolutely stunning little block. Now the points are on the edge, right? Because it was one of those quilts that they look best when they're joined. But you could put sashing in between these blocks, and now you don't have to worry about the next point, right? Like matching up your points. So you can cheat by putting a little sashing. And you know, in your cornerstones too, you can put little friendship stars, and they would just look really cute and a little sparkly. That would be my thing that I would do with this quilt with all my free time. That's the big joke around this house. Oh, Mom's got all sorts of free time. So, but it's cute. It's just adorable. And I'm so glad you guys asked me to do this and show you how to do this. I mean, it's not every day I get the opportunity to do a viewer request, and this is what we're trying to do too, you know, like make you guys happy to come back. Oh, see, look, we do viewer requests. So, until we have a chance to meet again, I hope you have an absolutely awesome week ahead and that everything is going wonderfully for you. Okay, until then, take care. Bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out, because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends. You know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's, I mean, that's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.